Good evening to all of you. Today, we're going to talk about episode number 19 from Surah Al-Imran. Actually, we'll start with verse 181, which says, Allah has certainly heard the statement of those who said, indeed, Allah is poor, while we are rich. We will record what they said, and their killing of the prophets without right, and will say, taste the punishment of the burning fire. What is the reason for the revelation of this verse? The reason for its revelation is the verse that says, who is it that will lend Allah a good loan, so he may multiply it for him many times over? Which is verse 245 of Surah Al-Baqarah. When this verse from Surah Al-Baqarah was revealed, the Jews said that the Lord of Muhammad has become poor. He became poor. I mean, here, he is asking for someone, saying, who is it that will lend Allah a good loan? Is he asking for someone to lend him money or what? All right. So the important thing is that Abu Bakr al-Siddiq went to a man named Finhas bin Azra, who was a Jew. He said to him, embrace Islam, Finhas, and give a good loan to Allah. Finhas said to him, why? Only a poor person borrows from the rich. Your Lord has become poor. He wants a loan from me. Anyway, Abu Bakr hit him. He hit him in the face. He hit him with a stick. Whatever it was, you know. So our guy Finhas went to the Prophet. Abu Bakr complained. He said, Abu Bakr asked me for a loan, telling me to embrace Islam and give a loan to Allah. So I told him, no, it's your Lord who is asking for a loan. That means he's become poor, so he hit me. Then the verse we're talking about today was revealed, which is verse 181 from Surah Al-Imran, which is what? God has certainly heard the statement of those who said, God is poor. All right, let me say it again. When Surah Al-Baqarah was revealed, who is it that will lend Allah a goodly loan? Abu Bakr asked Finhas to embrace Islam and to give Allah a goodly loan. Finhas refused. Abu Bakr hit him. Finhas went and complained to the Prophet. Then the verse was revealed. The verse is clear. All right, that's clear. Now, what is actually being said here? First, who said this? The story I just told about Abu Bakr and Finhas, and all of that is mentioned by three people, Al-Baghawi, Al-Tabari, and Ibn Kathir. All right. Now, I have a question here. So, Surah Al-Baqarah was revealed, and we understood it. Then Abu Bakr went, and when it was revealed, the Jews said that Muhammad's Lord had become poor. So when Abu Bakr went to Finhas and asked him, Finhas refused, and Abu Bakr hit him. Then Finhas went and complained to the Prophet, and the second verse was revealed. So, when both verses are about the same occasion like this, why is one revealed in Al-Baqarah? I want to go to Al-Imran. They're both about the same incident. Actually, they happened at the same time and for the same reason. So what's the secret behind this being verse 245 in Al-Baqarah, stay 181 Al-Imran? Honestly, I don't understand why they were distributed like this, even though there's a connection between the two. This is what I downloaded. They said that the Lord of Muhammad became poor. Abu Bakr asked him, and he refused. Abu Bakr hit him. He went and complained about Abu Bakr. Then the other verse was revealed. So why were they revealed as verses in two completely separate surahs like that? I really don't get it. And then, the third point about this verse. So we've talked about the reason for the revelation. And then, we raised the question, why are the two verses separated in two different surahs like this? The third point is, what is the wisdom behind the word, saying, God has certainly heard the saying of those who said. Well, what is the possibility of staying? God has certainly heard those who said that God is poor. Isn't that right? Honestly, to be fair, this really caught my attention. I mean, God has certainly heard those who said that God is poor and we are rich. It's fine. It works even without the word saying, all right. 4. What does it say? It says here, we will record what they said. Does God need to write down what they said? Why would he write down what they said? That's a question, really. I mean, suppose they didn't write it. It won't be registered. I mean, that was honestly a question. The fifth point. It says heard. God has heard those who spoke. Heard is a past tense verb, right? And then later it says, we will write. We will write. We will write. We will write in the future. So God has heard. We will write. First of all, God has heard. Is someone talking about God? Of course, that's possible. He says, we have heard. I have not heard of God. God has heard. That means someone is talking about God. God has heard those who spoke. And then here, what does it say next? We will write. So God has heard. That's talking about God in the third person in the past tense. And we will write as God talking about himself in the present, about the future. 182. That is because of what your hands have set forth. And God is not unjust to the servants. What does that mean? It means that on the day of judgment, God will say, taste the punishment of the burning fire. Very well, because of what you did in this world, meaning what you did in this life, you will be repaid for in the hereafter. Why? Because you didn't pay. You said about God that he is poor, and we are rich, and you didn't pay. And you didn't lend God a firm loan. Very well. So this is your punishment. And the one who says this, the one who gives this interpretation, is Al-Tabari. All right, the truth here is that God, or the Quran, is addressing them using the present tense pronoun, which is what? It says, because of what your hands have sent forth, not their hands. When you say to someone, your hands, it means they're right in front of you. You know? Whereas the day of judgment is the day of reckoning. The reckoning for those people who claim they were richer than God and that God is poor, and that God wants to borrow from them. And all of this, these people, meaning the event isn't happening to them right now. The event will happen. So if he says their hands, because of what their hands have sent forth, then he's talking about them in the third person. That means they're already dead, they're not here, and they'll be judged on the day of judgment. But here, he's speaking to them in the present tense, saying, your hands. So is he judging them now? So that is because of what your hands have sent forth. Okay, honestly, I didn't understand this, because the event is still going to happen on the day of judgment. Their hands see. That's the point. It's not your hands. That means the punishment is happening now, and that's what I don't see here. That's the idea. This is what Al-Tabari says, that God will say this to them on the day of judgment. So, if he's going to say this to them on the day of judgment, then it's not really your hands, is it? 13. And those who said, God has made a covenant with us, that we should not believe in a messenger until he brings us an offering that fire consumes. Say, messengers before me have come to you, with clear signs, and with what you asked for. So why did you kill them, if you are truthful? Here, the reason for the revelation is that a group of Jews, whose names are as follows: Kabi ibn al-Ashraf, Malik ibn al-Saf, Wab ibn Yehuda, Zayd ibn al-Tabit, Fayaz ibn Ezra, and Huyay ibn Akhtab. These people said to the Prophet, you claim that you are a messenger from God, and you want us to believe in you. That's all well and good. God told us in the Torah that we should not believe in any messenger unless he brings us an offering that is consumed by fire. So bring us that offering. Then verse 24 was revealed. If they deny you, then messengers before you were denied, who came with clear proofs, scriptures, and the enlightening book. Here, messengers before you are also rejected. What does that mean? It means that the Jews denied Moses and distorted what Jesus brought. So they completely denied Moses and altered what Jesus brought. Who is saying this? Who is the one saying this? Altabari. Now, I actually have a question. Why was the passive voice used were denied, even though the ones who denied them are known, namely the Jews? So, why is that? I mean, it's clear that it was the Jews who denied and who distorted. They are the ones who denied Moses and altered what Jesus brought. So why use the passive voice when it's already known? Honestly, I didn't really understand that part. Every soul shall taste death, and you will only be given your rewards in full on the day of judgment. So whoever is saved from the fire and admitted to paradise has truly succeeded. And this worldly life is nothing but the enjoyment of delusion. Here, the reason for the revelation is that when the prophet died, Ali-Ibn Abi Talib, someone came to them, someone they didn't see, but they heard his voice, or sensed his presence, but they didn't see his actual person or form. All right, so he said to them, I'll read it to you word for word. He said, Peace be upon you, O family of the prophet. Every soul shall taste death, and you will only be given your full rewards on the day of resurrection. With Allah, there is comfort for every calamity, compensation for every loss, and a way to make up for everything missed. So put your trust in Allah and place your hopes in Him alone. For truly, the one who is truly afflicted is the one who is deprived of reward, and peace and mercy of Allah be upon you. So Ali-Ibn Abi Talib said to the group present at the Prophet's mourning, as they were consoling each other, right? He asked them, Do you know who that was? They replied, Who was that? He told him, That was Al-Qaid, peace be upon him. All right, now here's the thing. I just want to make a quick comment here. Look at what he's saying. He's telling you that death is destined for every soul. Or in other words, every soul will taste death. But the reckoning is on the day of judgment. Exactly. The reckoning is this. You will only be given your full rewards on the day of judgment. Every soul tastes death in this world and will receive its reward, whether negative or positive, on the day of judgment. Very good. So, this simply means that all those stories about the snake, the horror, the grave, the torment and bliss of the grave, and all that stuff, all of that is nonsense. You die in this world, yes, but your reward is given to you in the afterlife, on the day of judgment. Literally, it says, you will only be given your full rewards on the day of judgment. That's perfectly clear. So that's one point. Now, the second point. All this business about the grave and the torment of the grave, it was all just to scare people. But in reality, there's nothing at all in the grave, because that's it. The soul has ascended, and the whole thing is completely over. All that's left is the body, and the body decays, and that's the end of it. All right, very good. Now, here's the next point. The real question I'm asking is, why did he use the passive voice, like in the previous verse? Why does it say removed? So whoever is removed? Well, the one who does the removing is known. It's God. So why use the passive voice? Honestly, I still don't get it, especially in this verse. The last point or the last question about this verse. So, what's the connection between this verse and the one before it? I mean, the previous verse talks about how the Jews denied the prophet and told him to bring them an offering. And God told us, you will not believe in any prophet unless he brings you an offering. So then the verse was revealed, and all of this here is talking about death. What's the connection between this and that? Like, what's the link between verse 185 and 184? Honestly, I don't really get it. Verse 186 says, You will surely be tested in your wealth and yourselves, and you will hear much abuse from those who are given the book before you, and from those who associate others with God. But if you are patient and mindful of God, That is truly a matter of great resolve. There are two opinions about the reason for revelation here. There are two views on why this verse was revealed. So, the first opinion, the prophet sent Abu Bakr to Finaz ibn Ezra to ask him for a loan. So, it's the same story we mentioned before. Finaz replied to him, saying, "Does your Lord need help?" So Abu Bakr wanted to strike him with his sword and cut off his head. But then he remembered that the Prophet had told him not to make decisions in these matters like killing, death, and things like that, unless you come back to me first. So he refrained from killing him, from killing Finhas. He changed his mind. Yeah. So then the verse was revealed. Who said that? Who gave that reason? Al-Bagawi. All right, got it. Let me say it again. So, the reason is, the second opinion about the reason for the revelation is that the verse was revealed about a man named Tabi ibn al-Ashraf. Why? Because this man was a poet, and he used to satirize the Prophet in his poetry. So the Prophet sent someone to him, sent him a man named Muhammad ibn Maslama. Muhammad ibn Maslama was the leader of the group, of course. What did they do? He told him, "Go check on the man who's satirizing me." So they went and killed him. Exactly. He said Muhammad ibn Maslama and his companions, and they killed him. Who says that? Who says that Kabi ibn al-Ashraf used to satirize the Prophet? And that this verse was revealed about him, about Kabi, because he used to satirize the Prophet in his poetry. And the Prophet said Muhammad ibn Maslama at the head of a group, and they killed him. Yeah, that's Al-Qurtubi. Who says that? Not me. I'm just quoting what Al-Qurtubi said. So, sometimes the verse is said to be about Finhas ibn Azra, because he refused to give Allah a good loan. And Abu Bakr went to him, and he refused, and all those things. And sometimes it's said the verse was revealed about Kabi ibn al-Ashraf, the poet who used to satirize the Prophet, either this or that. I already told you the first one. The first reason that was mentioned, the one about Finhas ibn Azra, and the loan and all that, was from al-Bagawi. And the second reason that was mentioned, which is that it was revealed about Kabi ibn al-Ashraf because he used to satirize the Prophet. That was what Al-Qurtubi said. Who are they? I don't know the truth exactly. The truth here is what he is saying. What does it mean? What does the verse mean? It means that God tests you with hardships in your wealth and your cells. That's basically what it means. All right. So that's what is being said here. The one who gives this interpretation is Al-Tabari, which is actually good. Honestly, every time the topic of trials comes up, I have to tell you that there are only two possibilities for these trials. Just two, no more. The first possibility is that God already knows the outcome of the trial. So there's no point in it to test. There's really no need, like God tests us. With any kind of trial, poverty, illness, any situation. And he already knows whether we'll seek his mercy or whether we'll accept his decree. So why test me if he already knows? I just want to understand if the outcome is already known in advance. That's the first assumption. The second hypothesis is that God is ignorant of the outcome of the affliction, because why would he affliction if he knew and pretended to be ignorant of God? Impossible. God is all-knowing, all-powerful, and has absolute will. We've said this many times, I think, in Surah Al-Baqarah. So, since it's impossible for God to be ignorant, or for ignorance to be attributed to God, it's out of the question. So then, why does he test us? So neither option works. Him knowing doesn't make sense, and him not knowing doesn't make sense either. So, this whole issue of testing needs to be looked at from a completely different perspective. Verse 187 says, "And mention when Allah took a covenant from those who were given the scripture, saying, 'You must make it clear to the people, and not conceal it.' But they threw it away behind their backs, and exchanged it for a small price." so wretched is what they purchased. Here, it means that God commanded the Jews. He commanded, meaning the Jewish scholars, to believe. They remember. First, to believe in the Prophet Muhammad, and second, to tell people about his characteristics and description to the Jewish people. But the Jewish scholars prevented, concealed, and hid the characteristics of the Prophet Muhammad from the Jewish people, because if the Jewish people knew about these characteristics, they would believe in this prophet. All right, that's clear now. Very good. So the verse was revealed as a rebuke to the Jewish scholars. Very good. The question here is, that's the meaning. That's the first point. The second point is, how does God take the covenant from those who are given the book? Does he take it in writing? Does he take it verbally? Does he take it directly between him and them? Or does he take it through a prophet? How does he take it? I don't know. Actually, the third point is that there were different opinions about the recitation. For this particular verse, there were many opinions about how it should be recited. I'll tell you, the first opinion is from al-Baghawi, who says that Abu Bakr al-Siddiq used to recite it this way. And when Allah took the covenant from those who were given the book, they will surely make it clear with a ya, not with a ta. Very good. The second opinion from al-Qurtubi says that Ibn Abbas used to recite it this way. And when Allah took the covenant from the prophets, they will surely make it clear, the covenant of the prophets, not those who are given the book, as it is in the verse. No. And when Allah took the covenant from the prophets, they will surely make it clear. Also with a ya, not, don't show it. Very good as well. According to al-Qurtubi, he says, of course, this was Ibn Abbas. According to al-Qurtubi, he also says that Ibn Mas'ud used to recite it. And when Allah took the covenant from the prophets, let them show it. Not let them show it. Not, you will make it clear, but they will make it clear. All right. This third opinion is from al-Tabari, who says, and when Allah took the covenant from the prophets, they will make it clear to the people and not conceal it. It's clear like that. All right. They will make it clear to the people and not conceal it. The one who says this, Tabari, it was in different readings. Please click on the article link right below the video to see them written out with the proper diacritics and the difference between this one, that one, and the other one. Because just by talking about it, I think it might get a bit confusing or mixed up. All right. Verse 188. Do not think those who rejoice for what they have done, and love to be praised for what they did not do. So do not think they are safe from the punishment. For them is a painful punishment. Ibn Mas'ud, I see this verse. Do not think those who rejoice for what they have done, and love to be praised for what they did not do, are safe from the punishment. Without the phrase, so do not think. Because basically, at the beginning, it already says do not think. Then in the middle it says, so do not think. Again, no, Ibn Abbas, Ibn Mas'ud, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud used to recite it, without the second, so do not think. So was this added to the verse? I don't know. Read it again. The verse says, do not think, that's one. Those who rejoice for what they have done and love to be praised for what they did not do, then, so do not think. A second time. No, not again. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud didn't recite it that way. He used to recite it as, do not think those who rejoice for what they have done and love to be praised for what they did not do are safe from punishment, straight through, without repeating. So do not think a second time. All right. So what's the real reason this verse was revealed? It actually has three reasons. not just 3 reasons. There are 3 opinions regarding the reasons for its revelation. The first opinion says that it was revealed about the hypocrites, because when the prophet would go out for a battle, they wouldn't go with him. Then, when he returned, they'd make excuses and say things like, "We're sorry," and all that we didn't come with you, and so on, and they wanted the prophet to thank them for that. It's not that they didn't go with him to be ashamed of their blood. No, they also wanted him to ask them to thank him for thanking them and to tell them, "No thanks at all. Like you guys are just perfect." Of course not. So it was revealed about them. You get it, right? Who says this? This is what al-Badawi and Ibn Kathir say. So who was it revealed about? Or the opinion is that it was about the hypocrites who didn't go out with the prophet on the battles and even wanted him to thank them. So this verse was revealed about those people. All right, that's one opinion. The second opinion is that it was revealed about the scholars of the children of Israel who concealed the truth. And they gave the people, the kings, and the rulers false knowledge, meaning knowledge that left out the descriptions of the Prophet Muhammad and all those important things. Who says this? This is what Al-Qurtubi says. The third opinion is that it wasn't actually revealed about the Jewish scholars. No, it was revealed about the Jews themselves, because they also concealed the descriptions of the Prophet and claimed that they were the children of God, God's beloved, people of prayer and fasting, and followers of Abraham's religion. All of that was revealed about them. So, sometimes it was revealed about the hypocrites, and sometimes it was revealed about the scholars of the children of Israel, specifically those who sold their religion and their honor for a cheap price, meaning they gave the kings and rulers false information about Prophet Muhammad. And as a result, the verse was revealed about them. And the third opinion is that it was revealed about the Jews themselves, specifically because they concealed the descriptions of the prophet. What about the rest of the common people or the general Jewish population? All right, this third opinion is attributed to Al-Tabari, so that would be the second opinion. The first opinion is from al-Badawi and Ibn Kathir, the second from Al-Qurtubi, and the third from Al-Tabari. All right. 189. To Allah belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth, and Allah is capable of all things. The meaning is that this verse is an argument from God against those who said, Allah is poor and we are rich. That's the first opinion, and that's what Al-Qurtubi said. The second opinion is that it is a refutation from God. So the first is an argument from God against those who say that He is poor and we are rich. The second opinion is it is a refutation from God, also against those who said that Allah is poor and we are rich. And that's what Al-Tabari says. So the first is an argument from God against those who say that He is poor and we are rich. And that's Al-Qurtubi. And the second is a refutation from God to those who say that God is poor and that we are rich. And that's Al-Tabari. Honestly, we're done now, and because of time constraints, I won't be able to talk about the comments at all this time. But I really hope you'll tune in to the next episode, the last episode of Surat Aali-Imran, because I will prove to you from the Quran itself that the Quran is the word of man and not the word of God. I will prove this to you from the Quran itself. That will be in the next episode. The second point is that I really ask you to try to promote the channel on your social media pages. Send every new video to your new friends and recommend the channel to them. Because we're getting reported by, I don't even know by whom. Maybe it's by radical Islamists or something. And honestly, to be completely transparent, if the channel ever gets shut down one day, I won't be able to put in the effort again. I just can't. It's too hard for me in terms of time, effort, health, and things like that. So please help me out a bit with spreading and promoting the channel, because marketing really isn't my thing. Thank you so much. Goodbye.